After we have all the details cut, let's begin to assemble the tunic. As always, we are going to start with the shoulders. We are going to make the gathering on the front so that it matches the shoulder piece. Once we assemble the shoulders, the neckline and the arm curves are going to take form. I've already gathered the front bodies where it is about to join the shoulder piece and pinned them together. I am about to do the same with the back side. I like to pin everything in place. This way I can avoid any distortion while feeding the fabric into the machine. I am going to do that on the other side and then make the seams. I use the serger to make all my joining seams, but you can use any stitch that tolerates stretching on your regular sewing machine. The shoulders are done, and the next step would be to attach the sleeves. I always follow the same sequence when sewing knit fabric tops. First, I'm going to mark the center of the shoulder. I'm going to align this mark with the mark on the center sleeve. Put both details facing each other and pin them together so that the notches we just marked match. Then I'm going to pin both ends of the sleeve to the ends of the armhole curve. I'm going to distribute the rest of the sleeve curve along the armhole curve. Attaching the sleeves is usually one of the most frustrating tasks because both details are curved. Take your time here. The better we distribute the sleeve, the better results we are going to get. I've just finished the joining seams on the sleeves. Usually, this is the time when we make the side seams. But this pattern has one additional step. We should add the side panels that make our tunic flare. I'm going to make the mark where the side panel is going to begin. This mark is included in the pattern. I must distribute the length of the panel between this mark and the end of the hemline. I pin it along only to the front side. We are going to join the back side together with the side seam. Here is the side panel already sewn to the front side. Now it is time to make the side seams. To make the side seams, I'm going to fold the tunic in half with the wrong side up. I'm going to put pins all over the length of the side seam and especially on places where it is important to match, like the sleeve. Both side seams are done and the tunic is almost ready. This is how it looks like. These side panels can be attached to any ready-to-wear top that is too tight. To make this alteration, just break a bit the side seam and add a triangle panel to the side. The next step would be to attach the binding to the neckline. If you are used to another technique and prefer to do it like that, or if you have a binding tool on a cover stitch machine, by all means be free to do it as you prefer. I am going to show you my way of doing it. That saves me a lot of time and always produces great results. Adding the binding is not the easiest task, not only because it must be shorter than the neckline, but also because we are going to add it to a curve. So we are going to prepare and manage to do it properly. First, I'm going to iron it as it is folded by half with the face of the fabric up. The binding is ironed and I double check if it's the right length. I measure it to be 4 fingers shorter than the neckline openings. If you prefer more accurate measures, that would be 2.5 inches or 6 centimeters. I'm going to pin the binding to the neckline. I always start with the seam and pin it to the center back. I position the binding so that the edges are aligned with the edges of the neckline. Next, I find the middle of the binding and pin it to the center front. Be careful not to twist the binding tape. Align the center front and back to find the sides of the binding. Pin each side to the middle of the shoulder piece. The binding is shorter than the neckline, and when we sew them together, it is going to gather all that excess fabric. If it isn't distributed evenly, it is going to pull one side more and one side less and is going to distort the neckline. That's why we aim to be as precise as possible when we put the pins. Put as much pins as you need to feel comfortable when sewing. The binding should get stretched like this so it coincides with the neckline. The final step would be to hem the sleeves and the bodice. Make sure to use a seam that tolerates stretching. For more sewing tutorials and patterns, please subscribe, comment, or follow us on social media.